that? I'm 77.
Hinton predicts AI will make authoritarians more oppressive and hackers more effective. He now spreads his money across 3 banks. The exact odds of an AI apocalypse are unknowable, he says, but hazards this guess: a 10 to 20% risk AI will take over from humans.
People haven't got it yet. People haven't understood what's coming. I don't think there's a way of stopping it to take control if it wants to. The issue is, can we design it in such a way that it never wants to take control, that it's always benevolent?
Those concerns have long been shared by other AI leaders. Google CEO Sundar Pichai,
It can be very harmful if deployed wrongly.
XAI's Elon Musk, who continues to call for regulation.
It has the potential of a civilizational destruction.
Sam Altman, seen here before he became OpenAI's CEO.
I think AI will probably, most likely, sort of lead to the end of the world.
But now, as these companies race each other and compete with China, Hinton worries they're foolishly, selfishly putting all of humanity at risk.
If you look at what the big companies are doing right now, they're lobbying to get less AI regulation. There's hardly any regulation as it is, but they want less because they want short-term profits.
As Suskever, Hinton's most famous protege, went on to be chief scientist at OpenAI.
To just set up a large neural network, which is a large digital brain.
In 2023, he was part of the group that pushed out CEO Sam Altman, reportedly because they didn't trust that Altman was prioritizing safety.
I was quite proud of him for firing Sam Altman, even though it was very naive.
Naive, Hinton says, because OpenAI employees were about to get millions of dollars that would be jeopardized by Altman's departure. Altman returned, Suskever left. Hinton criticizes his former colleagues at Google more reluctantly, but says they're falling short too.
Were you disappointed when Google went back on its promise not to support military uses of AI?
Very disappointed.
But it's part of a pattern, Hinton says, adding Meta and XAI to the list of companies racing faster than they should.
For example, the fraction of their computer time they spend on safety research should be a significant fraction, like a third. Right now, it's much, much less.
Artificial intelligence, and it will make America richer, stronger, greater, freer, and more powerful.
Okay. That's President Trump just 3 weeks ago signing the White House AI Action Plan. Earlier this year, Mr. Trump signed a separate executive order removing AI guardrails set by the Biden administration.
Would you like to add to that?
Sure. Mr. President, as you said, in keeping with your commitment to grow the American economy, create potentially millions of new American jobs, and maintain America's technological and military superiority in the years ahead, this is an executive order that orders aspects of your administration to take decisive action to ensure that AI can operate within a single national framework in this country, as opposed to being subject to state-level regulation that could potentially cripple the industry. David Sachs, your AI and crypto czar, has been one of the key players and key authors behind this EO. He can give you more of the granular detail, but the big picture is that we're taking steps to ensure that AI operates under a single national standard so that we can reap the benefits that will come from it in terms of economic growth, job development, national security, and technological edge.
And it's really the biggest industry that anybody's seen. I mean, it's taking off. And again, I believe there'll only be one country that really benefits, and it should be the United States. And it will be if we do this, if we're unified. We have to be unified. China is unified because they have one vote. That's President Xi. He's just doing it, and that's the end of that. You know, we have a different system, but we have a system that's good, but we only have a system that's good if it's smart. David Sachs, could you say a few words, please?
Yes, sir. So, as you pointed out, we have over 1,000 bills going through state legislatures right now to regulate AI. Over 100 of them have already passed. 25% of them are in California, New York, and Illinois. You've got 50 states running in 50 different directions. It just doesn't make sense. We're creating a confusing patchwork of regulation. And what we need is a single federal standard. And that's what the CEO says, sir, is it basically states that the policy of your administration is to create that federal framework. We're going to work with Congress, like the chairman here of the Commerce Committee, Senator Cruz. and other members of Congress to define that framework. In the meantime, this EO gives your administration tools to push back on the most onerous and excessive state regulations. We're not going to push back on all of them. For example, kid safety, we're going to protect. We're not pushing back on that, but we're going to push back on the most onerous examples of state regulation, sir.
So I spoke with other Republican senators, and we have great approval. I think I spoke to anybody that even had any question and seemed to have gotten approval. Ted Cruz has been a very strong advocate of this is common sense. I mean, I think it's nothing more than common sense. Please, Ted.
Listen, this is the single most important economic question in the country and in the world. Who wins the race for AI? You look back to the 1990s, there was a similar inflection point with the beginning of the internet, the dawn of the internet. And Bill Clinton was president at the time. He signed an executive order, just like you're doing, that put into law a light touch regulatory approach to the internet. And the result was incredible economic growth and jobs in the United States. At the same time, the European Union took a very heavy-handed regulatory approach. Here's an amazing statistic, Mr. President. In 1993, the U.S. economies and Europe's economy were virtually identical in size. Today, America's economy is more than 50% larger than Europe's, and the two drivers of that are tech and the shale revolution. It transformed this country, and AI is the same thing. It's a race, and if China wins the race, whoever wins, the values of that country will affect all of AI. We don't want China's values of surveillance and centralized control by the communist government governing AI. We want American values of free speech, of individual liberty, of respecting the individual. So this executive order, I believe, is tremendously important. Thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you very much. And Scott, please.
Yes, sir. This is pass-fail. As you said, this is the biggest technological innovation in our country's history. We've seen the canals, we've seen the railroads, we've seen the utilities, we've seen the build out of the internet and the fiber, and now it's AI, and it is pass-fail versus China. We have the lead, we've got to maintain it, and it is also going to be the single biggest source of economic growth. But everything else we do, with our defense, there's no use in having a golden dome if China's AI can get around it. There's no use in spending all this money on defense, and the U.S. will remain the leader in this under President Trump's leadership. He has accelerated the growth. We're actually going to move ahead further. We are seeing building everywhere, construction jobs. There are going to be jobs at the AI data centers. And most importantly, President Trump had the incredible idea to allow the companies to create their own power. And we are going to see soon that communities near AI facilities will have the same or lower electric costs than other communities, which is a great innovation. So this is an important document today.
Do you have any questions?
On this subject, President Trump, are you more worried about the U.S. winning the race for AI dominance with China or about AI's potential threat to humanity?
Both. We're looking at that very strongly. We have a lot of threats in the opposite way if we don't do it. You know, you look at the medical and medical research. Already the things that have come out of AI in terms of medical and cancer research and things, we're way ahead of what we ever thought we'd be just from the infancy of AI. So